And we're not going to show it again because it looked gruesome. It looked like some kind of break down near the ankle.
Everybody taking a knee, which is an indication that it's something fairly significant. That's going to be a big loss.
No, that's huge. I mean, he's been the heart and soul of this defense. So it's going to be a long road, but I'm sure Reed's up for it. He's a tough kid. He'll come back.
Running out there, I could tell that something wasn't right. And we got out there and cut his shoe off, started cutting the tape off his leg, and it was the way he was positioned. It was would be the underside of his left leg. It was closest to the ground. I didn't see it at first because I was obviously on the top side cutting the tape off, and my assistant looked up at me and he said, "There's blood." And when I looked around on his leg, you could see his tibia, the big bone in the lower leg sticking out of the skin. And at that point, we knew he had a compound fracture. It was an open fracture, and at that point, it's most important to get him to a hospital to get that wound washed out and cleaned. Look at what happened with quarterback Alex Smith and some of the things that he had to go through. We were trying to avoid that situation. So a break is never a good injury, but when you break both bones, that's takes it up a step. But then when you have the bone coming through the skin, you really start to worry about infection in the bone and long-term complications.
Coming back from that, I thought it would be a lot harder than it was, but I had a lot of people in my corner that really kept me positive, and that just made the days easier for me. Just keep high hopes, and look at me now. I'm here now, so I'm ready to play against North Texas this week.
And because of the pandemic and not having access to a lot of equipment, weight room, it was a lot of trying to talk him through, okay, these are some things you can do around the house.
Before I even left for spring break, I was on the downhill slope with weightlifting. I was starting to actually run a lot more. And so I got sent home for spring break. We get the text saying that school has been let out for another week. And we're sitting there like, are we even going to come back for this year or not? But not getting the full strength as a weight room, because when I was at home, everything was, cut off. I couldn't go anywhere. I can only lift outside. I was flipping tractor tires just to, keep me busy.
Even now he still has some discomfort from time to time in that leg. And his response is, it is what it is, and I'm going to work through it. And on my good days, I'm going to do the best I can, and when I have to back off. And there's not many days that he actually wants to back off.
It's been a tough year for him, probably as much mentally as it's been physically. And, for an athlete, anytime coming back from an injury, there's always that uncertainty. Am I healed? Can I do what I did before? So then you get going, you feel like you're, making progress, and then he's quarantined, for a month and a half.
Just sitting in my room and stuff, especially with all this stuff going on, it was tough from like a mental aspect. You think you're a tough guy, mentally tough guy. You've been through a lot, but when you're sitting in your room and you see all this stuff on Twitter about schools canceling because of COVID, you're sitting there like, are we going to even have a season this year? And like, will I even be able to play? Like, will I be able to get a film out, to the NFL scouts and stuff? It was just tough, it was hard, so.
He got caught up in contact tracing, and so it's that probably makes it even more frustrating. We talk about mental health and everything that's going on right now, and if Reed wasn't as strong a person as he is, that's tough. It'd be tough on me. I don't think I could sit in my house for 40 days.
And he's actually one of the reasons why we instituted a policy called active quarantine. If you have to go into quarantine for a second 14 days or even a third 14-day period, we allow you to work one-on-one with someone who has maybe been COVID positive, and it gives them an opportunity to come out of that quarantine, to not be trapped in a house, to actually do some physical activity.
So his fifth acclimatization day was the day before the game. And, so he didn't practice a whole bunch. He's not in great shape.
Probably 2 to 3 weeks to get back into game mode. You can't really have that same game experience in practices and stuff, and it was tough how to learn on the fly, how to get, you know, my eyes right, my legs back under me, and, you know, it was just tough, but, you know, I'm here, I'm ready to roll, so.
You know, since he stepped on campus, he's been a really, really good player. He's a good leader for us. He's a two-time captain.
Who you are as a leader, how you represent the team. Like when somebody off the field sees you and realizes you're a captain on the field, that's who the team is represented by. Like I want that to be what everybody sees. You know, I take pride in that. I want to be a captain for as long as I can. You know, I love these guys. I love leading these guys.
He has an attitude of this is tough, but I can do it. He takes one day at a time. I mean, he is a phenomenal young man. In every aspect of his life, from academics to how he handles things.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a redemption game for me, I think. Just gotta prove myself again that I'm back, and just play like I've been playing. You know, just can't really think about it too much. So never let the hype get into you. You know, like Coach Shafe always says, there'll be highs and there'll be lows. Stay steady as you go, and I really take that into the game. So.
Cool. Is that it?